everybody. Give everybody a few minutes to get in here. And let's see what we got here. Tonight is just going to be question and answer. See what's been going on with you guys. Usually I'm trying to do something, but tonight we're just going to kind of wing it, see how things go, and kind of go from there. So we'll wait for everybody to get in. I'm working on a little project that I've started, and so yeah, there you go. I've had some recent developments, and I've been pondering in my mind if I want to talk about it or not, but I think right now I might just hold off chit-chatting about that. I was thinking about it, and I was like, nah, I think I'll just wait for now. But hopefully we'll get a couple more people in here, and then we'll do a question and answer type thing. I know that everybody's probably just getting in and getting settled for the evening, so we'll give it a few minutes. We'll pull something up over here, and then we'll go from there. Hey, Miss Margaret, how are you feeling? I'm glad to see you here. I know you've been kind of under the weather, so it's awesome to have you back. So who's joining us tonight? I know we got Miss Margaret here. We got somebody else on. Go ahead and give us a thumbs up. I know we're just getting started. Good, 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 good. I know we all got something going on, so it's nice to see that you're doing better. If you don't mind, Miss Margaret, you start off with giving us a thumbs up. And in a few minutes, we're going to have a flood of people coming in here. So just trying to give everybody some time. Thank you so much. I've been working on a new project. And so I've been trying to brainstorm. You know, sometimes you're just trying to figure out what can I do that I'll be good at, that I could do from wherever I am. And so I have a little idea in mind. I don't want to roll it out just yet because you know me, I get started with something now. I might get a little bored with it and then put it over to the side and never really follow through with it. So I'm going to try to do some things first, get it going, and then I'll roll it out and kind of tell you guys what it is that I'm doing. Hi, where are you watching us from? Tonight we're going to kind of do a question and answer type thing. I know that some of you are new to the channel, and I appreciate a thumbs up. So as long as we stick to the guidelines of just being respectful and the questions stay pertaining to RVing or just life living in the camper or civil things, I will answer them. And if you get a super chat, I will give you 5 straight questions that I will answer. So we'll go from there. I'm doing well, thank you. No, I have not decided where we're going yet, and I do have to make a decision on that. I've been struggling with trying to come up with the right idea and where it is that we need to land. I know the end result is I'd like to be in Arizona come January, so I've been kind of favorable towards that. But there is a lot of factors that come into play. I just know that I'm ready to get out of Ohio. So I'm in the throes of trying to make that happen. I think the only drawback is figuring things out until November because I'd like to be here for Thanksgiving with my family. So that's kind of where we are right now. I'm just trying to figure that out. Um, so yeah, not a whole lot working on that front. Today I am not doing much. I was working on some invitations. So my little background is graphic design, so I was working on some invitations for a client, and that's about it. Today's been pretty slow. I went and got my nails repainted, well redone, my little fall color You can't see it very well because I don't have the light on right here, but that was on my list to do. Tomorrow I go and see a doctor. There's some things that have developed that I was thinking about talking about, but I was like, no, I'm going to wait till I know more about it before I start sharing. It's just really funny how you get up in age and you spend your whole life thinking one way, and then you find out so much about yourself and kind of throw a monkey wrench in your whole thought process. And now you got to figure out who you are at this point. So the more and more I am going through different processes, um, my channel is appropriately named of Finding Erica because I got a diagnosis last week that was kind of disturbing, but it made sense for a few things that I had had going on. And I'm not really ready to like roll out what that is and to talk about it, but I go tomorrow to find out a little bit more, and I'm kind of nervous. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little nervous to see what they're gonna say or how things are gonna turn out or what's gonna happen next. But I'm excited to go to just kind of find out more about myself and kind of go from there. So don't you guys, if you'd like to get 5 questions, you can hit that super chat and become one of our top fans, as well as leave us a thumbs up. And so I hope that answered your question that was just asked. Hi, Jake and Johnny, how you guys doing? And we got Rob here. Hi, Rob. Good boy. You are very, thank you so much, I appreciate that. um So, yeah, tonight's going to be pretty slow. I haven't been on in about a week. So I figured I'd jump on before I go to my Facebook Live, because I've been going Facebook Live as well as here, trying to get my numbers up, especially since my goal is to have 5,000 subscribers by the end of the month. So I've been working on that. So you guys subscribe, be a part of the journey. You never know. You never know. Oh my goodness. Happy birthday. Everybody, tell Margaret happy birthday in the comments section. Happy birthday, girl. I know that is, I hope everybody around you makes that day absolutely wonderful. Did you make it to your trip to Tennessee yet? I know you were talking about going down there, and I know the leaves are changing, and it's probably so beautiful right there at the Smokies. So I was wondering if you made it there yet. Hi, Wade. How you doing, buddy? How's everything going? Oh my goodness, did you have a great time down there in Gatlinburg? I know you did. Tell me about it. Was the trees absolutely beautiful? Wade, how's it going, dude? How's your live going? I know you've been gaming. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up, because I know you don't come and stay for long. You just pop your head in and pop back out. So we got 22 people in the room. We should have 22 thumbs up. And don't forget the super chat if you guys want to become one of the top fans tonight. Hi, it's Richard. Hey, Richard, how you doing? Is there anybody on here who owns an RV, does RVing or tent camping or things like that? Anybody who goes places and do stuff like that? Or are you guys just all passing through? Let me know. Oh, that sounds amazing. So any campers in here? Anybody like to do camping or anything like that? I'm not familiar with airsoft. So sorry about that. Not too good with stuff like that. No campers? Anybody done camping for the season? Ready for the holidays? I know I am. I am ready for the holidays. I love Christmas, so I can't wait for that. So I'm going to get started on my little things here. Whatever you want to ask, put it in the chat. Hi. Ooh, you love vampire bats. Boy, that sounds like a story behind that, which I'm sure you probably have. Yep, Jesus loves you too there, pumpkin. All right. I do. I do. I do. I do. Oh, Miss Margaret, yay, I'm so excited. Have you been looking at them? Do you know what kind you want? Like are you looking for like a couple suite, or are you looking for like a home on wheels, or just like a weekend warrior type thing? That is gonna be so cool. You're getting back into the RV world. Oh my goodness, you're gonna just love it. You're just gonna love it. Every night I look and see what they still have available, like what they have on sale, and what people have traded in, what they have, because I would really like another either Flagstaff or a Rockwood, but I want the kind where it has the rear living, like the rear living and the front bedroom. That's what I really want. When you have the kitchen like in the middle and you have the island, and then I can have my office and all my computer and all my stuff put away. I I know I have been talking about this for about 2 years now. I really want an office. I want a place to set up my stuff and where I can go and like do my work, get out of my chair, push it up, and then go do something else. Right now, I have to collapse it all down, put it all away, bring it all back out, put it all back up. It's just a complete hassle. So I'm hoping that the next camper we get, I'll be able to have an office where I can do that. That's the goal. So I'm excited that hopefully one day I'll be able to get it. Yes, a slide out is an absolute must. At this point in my RV journey, I couldn't even see going back to something unless I was all alone, like I'm by myself. I could not see a reason to have a camper without at least one slide. At least one slide. So yeah. You know, oh my goodness. As you can see, honey, it's time to color it again. I haven't colored it in quite some time. It's time to though, because you can see it's grown out and my roots are coming in. So I really don't know. Once I get it, what I'll do is I'll do it even on live. When I get some color, I will show you. It's usually whatever box stuff I find in Walmart. I don't get anything special. But I have to be very careful because if I get the one with the bleach in it, it just takes my hair out, to be honest. It stops growing. Like it'll look cute when I first do it. And then over time, if you don't have the right stuff to kind of keep it healthy, it just breaks it off. And then your hair stops growing because you've been fried your edges and then you got to cut it all down and start all over. So I usually get something pretty mild that after a while it washes out or it grows out and then kind of just go from there. But nothing wow, nothing wow. I can guarantee you that. Well, my office is my own little personal space. Oh, well, you know what? I've been looking at some different things in IKEA that have like where you can have like turn it into an office slash craft space. And I would really like to start my own stationery business where I'm doing like wedding invitations, birthday invitations, stuff like that. I've always enjoyed doing that. So I'd like to have a machine where I could use for printing, be able to do that. And I have my computers where I can work on both monitors and stuff like that. So I have ideas as far as my office is concerned. So I'm looking to see if I can find something that would be great for that as well. But as of right now, I'm looking, but I haven't seen anything now that's like in my budget that will work. Now they always have stuff, but the deal is it feasible to be able to, for what it is you're trying to get for what you need. And so that is the only drawback at the time is just making sure you can find one in your price range. Like I say right now, I'm working on some stuff for a client. And so my goal is to get my portfolio done. So I'm working on some work that I could go ahead on and post and try to get my business off the ground. Thank you. So I have all these ideas and stuff up here. So As we get closer and things start to happen and unfold, of course, I will do a video about it and kind of bring you along on the renovation journey. We just got to get that far. So right now we're living vicariously through Margaret, who is looking for hers, and she's gonna keep us abreast on what she finds and what's out there and what's great. I bet it would. And white is always nice because it makes everything look a lot brighter. So white is always a good color. Hey, Kelsey. Yes, please, please, please keep us abreast on what's going on because I'm excited because that means I'm going to see you out on the road and you'll pull in next to me and we'll be able to sit by the fire and talk and you'll be all free and retired. So I'm excited for you. Yes. It's nice. It gives you the freedom of dreaming, right? I love dreaming. Thank you, Kelsey. All right. We'll see you later. I hope you guys will subscribe. Make sure you leave a thumbs up. I know you might have to go, but we'd be really grateful to have you along the journey. See ya. Oh my goodness. So I'm doing some Christmas cards. So I got a thing for a client that wants some Christmas cards. And I'm looking at some different reefs and stuff. I got a beautiful font that I like. And I got something special coming for you guys soon. Evie, how's it going? All right, you guys. Thank you for the thumbs up. Y'all are so sweet. It's my favorite time of year is Christmas. Oh, I just love it. So I'm excited about that. My goal. I have a goal. And I'm working on it. So what are you guys up to tonight? Everybody's all quiet and silent. Makes it hard to keep talking. Yes, he is, Wisconsin guy. Yes, he is. All right. So, is anybody in here that are thinking about RVing, have any questions about full-time RVing? Maybe you thought about it, maybe you've seen other people doing it out on the road and you have some questions. Maybe you've always wanted to know what do we do during the wintertime or where we're going? Because I've been getting that a lot lately. Everybody asking, what are your plans? What are you guys doing? And I've been having such a hard time just making a decision on that. So if you have any questions, now is the time to ask. You already setting up for Christmas. Oh my goodness. Oh, that sounds amazing. I wish I had space to put up a Christmas tree in here. I tried one year and it just kept getting in the way. It was terrible. But I would love that. Roman Atwood. Where is that located, Charles? Has the best RV ever. Where is that, like a dealership, or are you saying this is a specific person that has the best RV ever? Because I'm always looking. I'm always looking. I'd like to go from a one bedroom apartment to there's always some bug crawling around here. That's the drawback of living in camp mode. You always have a bug somewhere. So okay, oh okay. So then you could like go and check out his camper and all that stuff. Okay, well cool. That's good to know. I want to go from a one bedroom apartment camper to a one bedroom house camper, like the where you have just more space. It's still one bedroom, but it's really nice. So that's what I'm shooting for. One day I will be back out there telling you guys, look what we found. So I'm excited to see how that turns out. I'll have to check him out, Charles. Thank you for sharing that. Are you an RVer yourself, Charles? I know that everybody usually come in because I'm baking something or I'm doing something. And tonight Have you ever had those days where you're just not feeling it? Like, you're just not feeling anything. Like, you're just trying to, you just don't feel like doing anything. I've had one too many days like that. So I'm hoping to be able to get out of this funk and be able to get back into it. Okay, so here officially the season is pretty much over. Uh so closing, it doesn't technically close, it just kind of slows down. But November 1st, like the 1st of November. And so that's the deadline I've given us. So I've been figuring out steps after that, which have not been a friendly thought process at all. I'm not gonna lie to you, I've been doing some real avoidance as far as that's concerned. Because there's not a whole lot to choose from around here. So it's not like you could just jump up and then, be someplace else. For $1,000 a month, you sure can. You sure can. But let me remind you, there's no running water after November either, at the sites. So then your water, you'd always have to be trying to figure out a way to get water from the one source to your camper. And I'm not gonna lie to you. Like I was telling my sister the other day, a lot of my issue is I'm just getting back to being able to walk, right? And even now, I still have some discomfort. And so I don't want to be here and it gets to be winter and snowy and icy and I slip and fall because I'm already unsteady walking and I'm trying to get around or do Instacart or whatever the situation may be. And I slip and fall and get hurt again and be stuck here even longer. I just don't want to do that. I just do not want to put up with being somewhere really cold with, not trying to figure out water, trying to gotta go buy a heated hose and all this kind of stuff. And we got our tank, and then you got to semi winterize the camper because if you don't, your tanks will freeze even though you're still in it, and it gets really, really cold, and then you can't use them. It just becomes a lot. And so honestly, I would just prefer to be somewhere a little bit warmer where I can kind of recover without feeling like if I go outside, am I going to slip and fall and break my other leg or hurt the one I just got better again because I didn't realize that was icy or I needed to walk across there to get to there. And I'm just having a little PTSD about that, right? Because this happened right before we were getting ready to leave and head to Maine. Even though I really didn't, Maine wasn't where I really wanted to go back to, but I had made up in my mind that that's what I had to do. And then boom, broken leg, broken ankle, surgery, and all this stuff. And I just don't want to do that. It's just a lot. And so I'm just not willing to do that. Yes, and the RV is not bad in the winter if you have everything you need to survive and you don't have to go anywhere, right? If you can like cozy up when it's nice and cozy in here and even though it's ugly outside, it's the when you got to go whether you want to or not type thing, right? And I'm struggling with that because I just don't want to be here and A, not be working, and B, slip and fall trying to get from here to the car or from the car to the store or be stuck indoors because I can't get out and I'm home for weeks at a time. And I value my independence too much for that. And so I guess that's where I am. Bone breaks are tough. And at my age, I don't just bounce back from having a broke leg. You just don't bounce back from slipping and falling and cracking your ankle and breaking your leg, right? So I'm nervous about that. And so I'm ready. I'm ready to go before it gets to the point to where we can't. Because the last time that happened, we were stuck here because of the path we were going to take. It was so icy. The Kentucky. Remember last winter, January last year, well this year in January, how we had that nasty storm come through and everybody was like stuck on the expressway and it was, black ice and it was snowy from here, from like Kentucky all the way through to Oklahoma, and that would be the route we take. Hi, Kayla. And so I am just not willing to do that at all. I just don't want to be stuck here. Yes, and you almost want to get low to the ground. You almost feel like you need to just get on the ground and just slide wherever you're going because you don't want to die, because it's so difficult, and I'm alone in these feelings, right? So I'm trying to figure everything out. And so I'm just, and like I said, you don't have a lot of options around here. And so they know that. So that's why they charge as though you're renting a house. It's ridiculous. No, nobody wants to get hurt. And I think that's why everybody snowbird while I was leaving, go to Florida or Arizona or California or Nevada or wherever the sun is, because if you're not equipped to like weather the weather and you don't have to go and get out, then that's one thing. So I'm working on it. And everybody asks me that every week at church. Hey, when are you guys leaving? What's going on? And I'm like, please don't ask me that every week. I don't know. I'm working on it now. It's just stressful. It's stressful. Thank you. No, it's fine. We're glad that you came. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. But no, I believe that. And our other hurdle is financial. The longer you stay in a place, the more money you begin to spend, and then the less you have when you need. And so the longer we're drawing out being here, the time when we need to leave, if it's not, if you can't put it back, which I haven't yet. And I was thinking about that. I was like, okay, well, I know I need to get a job, but I don't know my stamina on my foot yet. Even hopping around here in the house, after a while I need to like sit down and take breaks. And so if you don't know what your stamina is yet on your foot, it's kind of hard to like run out and get some work. And I'm like, every dollar we spend, we got to be able to put it back, because when the time comes, you got to have what you need to leave. So that's the other hurdle that we're looking at as well. Love you too. And so it's a one day at a time. And like I said, as I get older, I keep finding out new stuff about myself. And I was going to share that tonight, like, but I think after tomorrow I'll kind of know more, and I'll be ready to share what I learned, because I went to the doctor. Everybody knows that I have panic attacks, right? So that's not a secret. And it's kind of how I got into full-time RVing, was through the fact that I was just dealing so hard with panic attacks and anxiety and depression and suicidal thoughts. I'm not gonna lie. I'd be sitting at my desk and I'd be thinking crazy things, right? And so I had talked to my mom one day and she was like, Erica, take a break. You could take a break. You're young enough that if you want to go back to work, you can. Just take a break. There's nothing wrong with taking a break. And the kids were gone, so why not? And I set out on this adventure. And an adventure it has definitely been. Now, it hasn't been as much of an adventure as I would like. Like, I would like to go more, especially since We have no little children, no kids, no reason why you can't just be a little bit more spontaneous. Like around here, we got Chicago. I would have loved to just go see Chicago. Again, I've been there once. Like we have Niagara Falls. I would have loved to just drive up there and spent the night and just enjoy it there. Cleveland, just go because you can. You don't have anything that's no little kids in school, nobody, that you got to be thinking about. You can kind of just like pack an overnight bag and go and explore the city. And there's so many videos and things you could do and activities. And it's like, we don't do anything. And it's a little disheartening because if it was up to me, I would do more. I would be out more. I'd be going more. I'd be taking the long drive and just going just because I'm closest that I've ever been being here than if I was in Tennessee. And so I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm just being my authentic self. Sometimes talk therapy is helpful and you never know what other people are going through. And so it's one of those things like why I got into RVing. And it has given me a sense of a relief from just the everyday to a certain extent. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I appreciate super chats as well. Hey Angela. So I forgot where I was. That's a part of being old. You forget. It's like seeing a squirrel and forgetting. Oh, yeah. So that was the main part of why I got into full-time RVing, just to have a change of pace and to do something different. I was getting burnt out by the day to day, and the kids were gone, and I was just really mentally struggling. And having an option out of what I was dealing with was really nice. And being able to make that happen makes you feel less boxed in, like a part of what I'm learning, a part of my triggers is when I feel like I can't control something, like the feelings of feeling out of control, right? And so being able to change made me feel as though, okay, I can do something about how I'm feeling right now in this moment. Like I was in the emergency room 9 times, you guys, thinking that I'm having a full-fledged heart attack. I didn't even tell anybody I was going. I'd like get up and be like, I'm going to die right here, so I might as well go to the emergency room. And I'd get up and my arm would be hurting and my neck would be hurting and the classic signs for women and heart attack. And I get to the emergency room and they do this whole workup and then they just say, "Oh, you're just having a panic attack. Take a couple of these and find yourself a doctor." And so I was like, okay, I'm just getting worse and I'm going more and more frequently. So maybe I should do something about this. And so, hey, Tiffany, changing scenery helped a lot. Getting outside helped a lot, more than I thought it would, right? If anybody knows me, they know that I love my camera. I don't have a camera anymore, but I loved my camera. I loved photography. And we would go on these walks and hikes, and sometimes I would go for a walk by myself, and I would just take pictures of anything, water on a leaf, a flower, landscape, buildings, it didn't matter. And then I would come home and spend hours editing. And something about that just gave me a sense of peace. Like it was a coping skill for me of how to just deal with what I was dealing with at the time. So getting outside helped. Hiking helped, work walking and doing things outside to got me to the point to where I was exhausted. Like I'd come home and take a shower and I wanted to go to bed because I was like so tired from today. And it gave you that reward feeling of like a sense of accomplishment. I had started losing a little weight and then I'd come back home. And as much as I love my family and love my children, it was like returning to the stress, right? It was like returning to um things I couldn't control or do anything about. and then we'd leave again, and then and so it's one of those things where you just, as you get older, things that you used to just kind of feel like you were dealing with, you get older and realize you're not dealing with them as well as you thought you were. And so coming into this took certain things off my plate, but I'm realizing that some things are still there and I need to work on that. And so, like I said, I was gonna think about sharing that tonight, but I figure I'm gonna find out some more about it, and then I will come back later and maybe discuss it in length, like what it is that I'm really saying, because there's a part two to all of this. Like there's additional steps to why I'm laying this foundation. But I think it's always a comforting thought that when you go through things, to know that you're not the only one, because some people experience different things different ways, and to hear somebody else say, you know what, I think I feel that way too, or I deal with that too, or I've had that happen to me, it kind of takes the loneliness out of going through things. And so it can't hurt to shed light on things that you go through, just for the benefit of others. You very rarely go through things for yourself and use solely the benefit of it. It's usually for somebody else, kind of give them some hope. So as of right now, I can use all the hope I can get. As far as where we're going, I don't know. How we gonna get there, I don't know that either. I know it's gonna happen, and it'll be a surprise to you, just like it's a surprise to me. And I'm sorry, you guys. I feel like a lot of the times, like I let you guys down as far as traveling, because a lot of you come to here because of the traveling we were doing and all the stuff we were out there doing and showing and making videos. And for the last 2 years, financially, we just haven't been able to do it. We just haven't been able to go like we had been going. Usually, a lot of the videos we did, we were out west. And so, whatever area we were in, we were able to kind of explore it and bring you guys stuff. And so, being on the East Coast is just not that cool. Not to me, anyways. And it's not that fun. And we don't go anywhere and we don't do anything. And the weekend comes and we're sitting here at the camper. And it is a very boring existence here. And I don't like it. And I'm just excited and ready for the next chapter. I don't know what that chapter looks like yet, because I'm still starting physical therapy in November and trying to figure out, and I think once I do physical therapy and I figure out, what I'm supposed to be doing to kind of get my foot back past that point of where it hurts, but it's healing and you can stand on it longer, then, I'm ready to launch. Thank you, Angie. So, because I've been doing lives, my actual videos have not been doing so well. And so I was trying to decide whether I want to continue to keep doing lives or whether I just should just put out more videos. Lives give you a quick burst of people, but they don't stay, right? So you want people who care about what you care about, so you can have a loyal community and be able to share things to kind of be supportive of one another. And so I prefer quality over quantity. And so I was thinking maybe I'll do a video kind of explaining a little bit more instead of just talking cryptic. Just have a special video that would be for members only. Like, I'm not members only, like subscribers only can see. And that way I will grab the scope of people that are actually here for the same reason I'm here. And you'll be speaking to your people. So I think that's what I'm going to do after tomorrow. I'll probably just sit down and have this raw, honest conversation and then kind of tell you where I'm going from there, because life is going to be a little different after this. Um, so as you can see, um, I'm sorry, you guys. I hate being cryptic, but I'm just trying to make sure that in my mind I have all this worked out. And then I can come to you and give you a full picture. And so There you go. There you go. It's not. It's never fun getting a new diagnosis because it's such a learning curve. So much to learn about it. So much to learn about yourself and your new normal and what that's going to look like and how this is going to affect your life. And you're already on this journey that you don't know where it's going to take you, and now you have this extra added piece to it. So yeah, so that's what I'll do. I'll sit down, I'll do a video, and I will make it for subscribers only. And we'll go from there. Thank you, Margaret. I really appreciate that. Um, yep, tomorrow's going to be a very interesting day. I'm excited, but I'm nervous. Just the nervous of the unknown. When I went to the doctor the first time, my blood pressure was so high. And she was like, Erica, why are you so anxious? Why are you so nervous? And I was like, because I just don't know what's going to happen. You know, everything just seems so out of, you just all happening at once. And it was just overwhelming. And she was like, calm down, everything's going to be fine. And I have these tail signs on my hands. I start rubbing them and wringing them, and I touch my face a lot. And she picked up on those cues really quickly because you're trying to self-soothe pretty much. And so that's where I was. I was trying to self-soothe. And then I have all this stuff coming up this week starting tomorrow. So I will probably just do a heart-to-heart video and kind of just be transparent with those that I know I can trust with the information, and then see what discovering Erica looks like from that point, because it might change, a little bit of what life is going to look like after the fact. Thank you, Miss Margaret. I appreciate it. Well, I know that people filter in and filter out, and it's hard to know who's here and who's not. But I think that's the basis of what I was gonna say. Yeah, it's a monkey wrench, isn't it? And I was talking to my sister, and she was like having me trace back. She was like, "Well, let's just think about it. Maybe there were signs and we didn't even pay attention to it." And we're just going back in time, and then you grudging up all these old thoughts, and I'm like, man, oh, this is too much. Hi, Alice. How are you? But anyway, happy thoughts. Let's keep it light. Just ugh, just trying to shake it off. Hoping that, I can remember our first year out on the road. Hey, Miss Shirley, how are you? I remember our first year out on the road and how excited I was the day we pulled out. And it seemed like we had so many issues, like learning so many new things just getting on the road. And it's something about, oh, okay. So it's something about that pull out, that when you get ready to go and the anticipation of packing up and cleaning things and getting rid of things and knowing that you're going to be somewhere different soon, it just gives you the jitters and the excitement of travel and pulling up to the different gas stations and just the Buckies and just the road and seeing new things that I just absolutely cannot wait to get back to. And then the fear that I'll never do it again. Like the fear that the fun thing that I enjoy, what if I don't get a chance to do that anymore? Like what if we just get stuck here and we don't leave? I think I'd have a nervous breakdown. And that's like a fear of mine, of just being stuck. I don't want to be stuck. So I've been thinking about all kind of stuff, just running through my mind. Hi, hey you guys. Hope you all are doing well and having a good night. Everything's going well. Grace Love. Thanks for the super chat. I saw one come up, but I didn't see it post. Appreciate it. They can. And I'm just, some of it is rooted in reality. The reality is the longer you stay, that's a possibility. And then you got to keep hope that that's not going to happen. It's like, no, 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 that's not going to happen. Nothing lasts forever. And so there you go. But I'm holding out for hope that things will work out. They usually do. So, Bailey, that's your name, right? You're under Alice Rogers, but your name is Bailey. Miss Shirley, when are you guys leaving to head to Arizona? Thanks for the thumbs up, you guys. I really appreciate that. When are you going to Arizona? I was thinking, I'm doing so much and wanting to get out there so bad. What if I get out there and it's a flop? It's like, oh, it's not. And people say, well, it wasn't like this last year. Or you anticipate and just want something and you just hype it up in your mind. And then you get there and you're like, womp, womp, womp. So I was thinking about that. I was thinking about that. We have 7 folks in here. Can we get some thumbs up? Those are free, you guys. I know I need to get this thing finished. And I got to finish up my new blog post. That's my problem as well. That's my problem as well. I'm just not ready to just. I guess when you had children, you didn't have a choice. You had to settle down and like just be still for the sake of the kids and stability. And I'm just not interested in that right now. I'm just not. I just have no anything to want to just settle down and be stuck in one place for longer than I want to be, right? I just don't have, I have zero desire to do that. Like I've had to do that for many years because the kids had to go to the same school and you wanted to give them some stability and they could have a place, and their friends. And I just don't need that. I just am not looking for that. Well, Angie, I'm so sorry. We get out and walk quite a bit. Like we stop a lot. We go 4 hours away, but it might take us 6 hours to get there. We stop quite a bit and get out and walk the dogs. We walk. Uh, Most of the time, I use the bathroom in the camper, but not in this one because when the slide is in, it blocks the hallway, so you can't get into the bathroom. Now, the other camper we had, when the slide came in, you still had access to the bed and the bathroom, so you could still use it. But with this one, you have to use wherever you are, or you're gonna have to get out and let the slide out. It's ridiculous. So we get out quite a bit and use the bathroom. We get coffee quite a bit, so we stop quite a bit. And my goodness, if you drink water 15 minutes later, you're going to have to stop again because we old people. And so we just stop a lot. But that's a part of the journey. We're going nowhere fast. We don't have deadline to get there. And we usually leave enough time that we can lollygag. So that's just how life is. Um, it's cold at night. And today it was cold this morning and then it was chilly and then it gets cold at night. So at night, at some point, you do put the heater on to just take the chill off. I mean, it's still at a place where you could probably use the space heater and be just fine. But it is getting to the point where long sleeves is you can wear it all day and not be hot. How is it up there? Oh, okay. Well, I mean, Cedric don't have a problem with backing up and stuff like that. He just don't like to go. He just don't want to go. Like we got here and he was perfectly fine staying here forever. I never came here to stay forever. But it is what it is right now. Oh, 63 today. Miss Margaret, what was it like where you are? 50s. Oh my goodness. I think it might have been low 60s, high 50s here. I didn't even look. All I know is like this morning I got it. I was like, "Oh, it is nippy in here." Put the heater on. We got the fireplace in the living room. So we put the fireplace on, kind of heat things up. And then I had to run some errands, and then I had my long sleeves on, and I mean, I didn't need a jacket or anything with that. But as the day went on, you had to close the door. It was starting to get pretty cold. So I don't know what it is now. Winter is definitely on its way. It is cold, and it looked like it's going to be maybe cold for Thanksgiving. I just don't want to. Cold, I can handle. It's the ice and the snow that I'm trying to avoid. And not only avoid it here, avoided the route that I need to take. So you got to get out early, so none of that is a factor. The time change. What time? When does the time change? Hi. I see you put hi in there. I don't even know when time change. I think it's like the 1st of November. Okay, Sunday it rained here. It rained just about all day, half of the night and just about all day. But it was beautiful outside with the trees red and green, I mean red and yellow and the rain outside on the trees. It was very beautiful. And I got a friend from church who is headed to Amish country this week. And I was like, "Oh, that sounds like so much fun. I would love to go." Her and her husband are going up there for a couple days to Amish country. And I'm like, "Oh my goodness, that sounds amazing. I would love to do that." Uh Getting cold in Georgia at night and early morning. Yeah, same here. Same here. I know Arizona is like the only place that's refusing to do daylight saving time. I had to get a moderator. That's all there is to it. So many people come here with such foolishness. Yes, you're gonna end up being a snowbird, Miss Margaret. Then you're gonna have to fly south. And I don't want to go to Florida either, you know. And that's the one thing that tears you apart when you grow up in places like I grew up in Florida, right? And we didn't have any seasons. It was like hot and mild. And so now when I got to Atlanta, it was more seasons, like you got all four seasons. And so I appreciate the four seasons, but I don't want to be in the cold. Yeah. And so everybody now is heading south to Florida. I was like, I don't want to live in Florida either because even though it's a campground on every corner, they are so high. It is so high. And we had Thousand Trails down there. And it's like 400 a week to stay in those in a campground, and then because you got to be out 7 days, and every 2 weeks you got to pack up and move and pay another 400 to stay somewhere for 7 days. It can get expensive, and then they got to have a space available. So this year I did not renew my Thousand Trails. Like if I was in Arizona, California, and Nevada, I would get my Thousand Trails because I know I would use it there. I could boondock in certain places and then go to a campground. But you don't have those options in Florida. There's no boondocking land that I could think that I saw. They might have state parks, which might be a little bit cheaper, but I mean, my gosh, every 2 weeks you're paying that. So and then the membership went up. It's like $700 if you don't catch that special where they have it and it's like 480. And then by the time they tack on taxes and all that stuff, it's like 500 and change. And if you that's not worth it if you're not going to be in the areas where they're most prominent. Like we had it, and then we came to Tennessee, and there was like one place in Tennessee that was just near us, but it was an hour away. So it was like a waste of money. And then we came all the way up here, and we never used it one time outside of Florida. Not one time. And so we got up here, and then the one that's closest to here, just like 45 minutes away, is one step up. So we couldn't even use it with the plan we had. So I just wouldn't get it again. unless I know I'm going to be in Florida for like about 5 months or better, or I know I'm going to be out west and I can jump from place to place and stay at the state parks because they're cheaper. Like New Mexico state parks are only $14 and you get water and electric. You don't get dumping. Dumping's there. They do have a dumping station, and we have our portable tank now. I remember Shirley was telling me last year, don't buy the portable tank. I'm glad we did, Shirley, because we ended up using that thing so much it was ridiculous. So it really kind of paid for itself. And so unless I know we're going to be in those areas, and know that we can like abuse it like you need to if you're going to pay that kind of money, it's really not worth it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. So I was thinking about it, but I was like, oh my goodness. And I was also looking at camp hosting, right? At some of the state parks. Um, but then you still have to get another job, because if you don't have any income coming in, you're just bartering, you're just working for sight. So you still got to have an income. If you don't have anything coming in monthly, I mean, those don't do you any good either. So it's a lot to think about, and it's a lot to factor in. It's not just like, where are you going next? And you're like, oh, we're just going to pick up and go here. You have to have like a 3-month game plan wherever you're going, right? Unless you're traveling to get somewhere, right? So say if the end result is Florida, right? So my next stop is like, oh yeah, we'll stop and overnight and we'll stay in Kentucky, and then we'll make it on to Tennessee, and then maybe we'll stay in Alabama for a couple days, and then a couple days in Atlanta, and then we'll pull it on into Florida, right? And then but I know we're gonna be there for 3 or 4 months. That's how that has to work. Right now, you got to project 3 months in advance. Like you can't just say, okay, well, November comes. Where you going? I don't know. I mean, because wherever you end up, it might be you can't think, okay, in November we'll go here for 4 days. You need to have a 3-month contingency plan, because as it gets colder, a lot of places close. You don't have as many options. And then you have to figure out how much it's going to cost, because the ones that are open are charging an arm and a leg because they know they're the only ones open. And if you're looking, you're desperate. When we went to Connecticut, they charged us $100 for one night. And it was because they could. They knew everything else around there was closed, and they were the only one open. $100 a night. And people know they can do that. They'll take advantage of the fact that you are there, and where else you're gonna go, you know? So it's one of those things where you gotta plan 3 months in advance. And a lot of things, there's so many variables, right? There's so many variables we're looking at. We're looking at recovery for my foot. We're looking at work wise wherever we go, because we both didn't work campgrounds, so we don't have the money we normally have when we leave. So you gotta look work wise. Holidays are coming up, so you're looking family wise. It's just so many moving pieces that you have to consider to make a decision, right? Because you're like, well, we want to be here for then, so we got to find something for 3 weeks for that, and then get past that, then you got to have the next place, and then you got to make. It's stressful. It's very stressful. And so you're trying to come up with a plan that's not a short term plan, but it's a plan to say, okay, we do this, and then we got to do that, and then we got to do that, and then we got to do that. And you have all your ducks lined up. So there you go. That's pretty much it in a nutshell. Yeah, the price was crazy. And it didn't help that it was, uh, that's during the time they had that, what do you call it, that eclipse, and people were like renting places and stuff like that. So yeah, they were really. I like to travel slow with no planning, and I can do that when I know we have what we need on reserve, right? When I have the money and it's just sitting there, we can travel slow and go wherever we want, because I know we have enough to do what we need to do. It's when you got to be planning on a budget. And like I keep telling people, I talk to people all the time, especially folks, coming in and out of here and at different campgrounds, because everybody wants to know, how do you do it? How do you keep going? How do you do this? How do you do that? So The secret to all this is when you work the summer, you have to live off of one income. The other income, you have to pretend like it doesn't even exist. It needs to go to the bank, and the only thing that comes out of that is your tithe because you want the Lord to bless that money big time, right? So you just leave it there and just let it accrue and accrue and accrue, and then you live off of what the other one, right? That's where you get your groceries, your gas, your propane, whatever little excursions you want to do, whenever you want to go out to dinner, your coffees. Everything comes out of the other one, right? And when you're ready to go, if you pick a good one, you get a little end of the season bonus and you get what you got saved. So if two people are working and you make $6,000, $7,000 for the summer, and then you get like a $2,000 bonus or whatever, you got $8,000. You're set. It doesn't matter where you go. You can move slow and do what you want, right? But if you haven't done that and you haven't worked like that, then you're leaving, going to the very next job because you haven't had the luxury of doing that. Unfortunately, that was our summer, right? We didn't have the luxury of doing what we normally do. So when we come home and we leave from working at the campground and you sacrifice your whole summer to make sure other people have a good summer, you go home, you don't have to stress about that. You could spend some time with your family. You could, be there for Thanksgiving and plan to go do that. But when you haven't done that, then you're like, okay, so we got to have a next gig. We got to go do this. We got to go do that. So it's like, uh, I want to be here, but if we stay there, we're going to run out of money. So we need to be doing this. So now I got to be looking for a job and a space, and it's stressful, right? So the planning is in the infancy of the season, dictates how you're going to do it. And let me tell you something, these old people, you can learn a lot from them if you listen to them. Me neither. The first year I did that, Shirley, I didn't make no reservations. I get in the car, and when Cedric starts saying, well, when are we going to stop for the night, I started searching for campgrounds along the route. And then I'd pick one state park or something, and then we'd stop for the night. But let me tell you a little secret that some of these old timers, when I mean old timers, I mean people who have been RVing for quite some time. Once they save that second check and you got it in the bank and it's sitting there, guess what you do? You're a seasonal worker. So now you file for unemployment. And then you have that money coming in. And you still got that saved. So if you're moving across country and all you need is gas money, then you use your unemployment. And then you still don't have to touch that money. There's so many ways of doing this, but you need to be doing it at the beginning. That's it. At the beginning. If you don't do it at the beginning, then at the end, it doesn't matter. It's nothing you could do about it at the end. You just have to start planning for the next one. That's it is what it is. So you have to just be very smart from the beginning, or just don't plan on living in it as a full-time gig, which a lot of people don't. They bring it out in certain times of the year, and they do all the traveling we want to do, and then they winterize it and go back home. But for those of us who have found that this is a cheaper way of living, um, you definitely need people to share their experience, their tips, the things they've learned. No gatekeepers, By sharing your information does not mean that somebody is taking something from you, because you're not even in the same places to do the same things. So you're just sharing information so we can all survive, right? And so I'm not going to lie, survival is a lot easier to do on the West because you have so much vast land, right? And you can boondock if you need to until you could do better. And a lot of the gas stations out there are RV friendly, so they have dumping stations. You can fill it with potable water and go right on back up the mountain if you need to, and get you some gas for your propane, and you can make it happen for a couple, for a week or two, till you can get where you're going. And that's a great way to do that. If you have like your 1,000 trails, you got 14 days or your 21 days, and then you go out, you get your gas, you dump your tanks, you do all your stuff you're going to do, hunker down for about a week or so, and then you go on back. You can make it. People do it all the time. They do it all the time. But how you do it is you don't get stuck in certain areas because it's hard to leave, right? If you're going to do this, then you got to follow the circuit. You got to do what people do to be able to keep going. You got to have the little jobs. You got to go where other people are. You got to go where the living is easier to do in this type of lifestyle, you know? And if not, then that's how folks get stuck and then they get out of it, you know? And so that's my soapbox. That's what I'm just saying. And I'm just I'm just saying. So I hope you didn't that I'm not coming across as frustrated because I am, but I'm not. I mean, I'm okay. I'm frustrated, period, because I just have a lot personally going on. But it's just one of those things where this plan this time is going to have to unfold as I go because I just don't have one. And I'm not going to lie to you. I just don't have one. And I'm trying not to lose hope because I thought about it a couple times. I was like, maybe it's just time to give this up. Maybe it's just time to sell the camper and go back to a 9 to 5. And I think I would be so miserable. I would lose myself in all of that. And I was thinking about it, I was like, maybe it's just time. I mean, I'm not even doing what I want to do anyway. I'm not moving around. I'm not traveling. I'm not doing anything. So what's the purpose? You know? And then I started thinking, no, don't give up like that. Don't give in to the feelings right now. You know, if you give this up, then you don't own anything anymore. Then you're at the mercy of meeting somebody else's mortgage or, trying to get into an apartment and now you got to pay rent and all that stuff. And I was like, right now, you own this bad boy. So it's like you're a piece of home ownership. Don't give that away. And so you have those internal fights, especially when you're just trying to figure things out and it just seems like you cannot hatch a plan to save your life. It's like, oh my goodness, this is so hard. And so I'm trying to figure out something. Oh, but before I go, I want to show you guys something. This is what I was working on today. I don't know what I'm going to do with them. I was thinking I would sell these. I don't think I am anymore. I think it would take effort to get them sold. And I don't know if I got that kind of time to devote to it. But I was working on these snow globe cups. So I did this one today. You need the light up there, but this is what it looks like. So it's like a two-tone. It's like a pink and blue. I did that one. And then I did this one, which is all like a blue. Because it kind of matches the flowers and stuff in it. And so I might just give them away. And just stop buying into my fetish for stuff like that. And then this one is like a clear and pink. So it is so pretty. I absolutely love them. I think they are so pretty. And so I have a box full of these things that I finished. And I don't know what I'm going to do with them yet. I don't know whether I'm going to keep them or give them away or give them as gifts. I don't know. I wanted to sell stuff like this. I just don't have the room and I don't have the money it takes to invest in continuing to keep getting everything you need. Because you guys know, if you pick up a new hobby, hobbies can be expensive, right? Because you gotta buy everything, right? You can't just buy some stuff and get started. You have to have everything. And I just can't funnel money into that right now. So I'm trying, Destiny. I'm really trying not to give in to failure. Cause I feel like that sometimes. It's like I got into this for the adventure and I'm not doing that and I feel like I failed myself. Like I couldn't even pull off what I wanted to do for myself and continue to keep doing that. Now the first 2 years was so much fun. It was amazing. It was so much fun. I had always wanted to go out to the Pacific Northwest and I made it all the way out to Oregon and I left a piece of my heart in Oregon. I love Oregon and I feel like I'll never see that place again. I like San Diego. I like all the stuff to do down there and, hanging out and the beautiful sunsets at La Jolla. And, we used to go over to Granada Island and get gelato and sit in the car and watch the sunset at the beach. And I feel like we'll never do that again. We'll never get back over there. The truck needs so much work done to it. And you just start thinking all this stuff. You're like, it's never going to happen again. It's just, we're not going to make it out there. And you just try not to think negative. You just like, no, 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 no. You're going to do it. You're going to do it. So I do. I just love it. Sometimes I sit back and I watch my own videos of the hike through Cathedral Gorge and how much fun that was, and just being at Pioneer Park and seeing people hike and sitting outside with Cedric by the fire up underneath the night sky in Utah and then out there in Arizona when we were at Lone Rock Campground. If you guys, I wish I had did a video at Lone Rock Campground. If I ever make it back there, I will 110% do a video there. It's $12 a night. It's boondocking, but it's beautiful. It is so beautiful. In the night sky, you can see, because there's no pollution, you can see the the uh the Milky Way with it's just absolutely beautiful. And at night it's so eerie quiet. Like you don't hear any noise whatsoever. No car noise, no nothing. It's some of the most peaceful sleep you'll ever have. And I absolutely loved every minute of it. And it was just so nice. We didn't watch TV at all. I was even talking about Ely. I don't know if you guys know where Ely, Nevada is, but Ely is a place that you will forget there's another world outside of it. And it's like centrally located to the crossroads of going to Reno, to going to Nevada, going to St. George, and then heading up going to like Washington. And that was our first place we stopped and worked. And Ely is where I fell in love with RVing. It was one of those places that was surrounded by the desert and the mountains, and we used to go and take a drive through the mountains, and it was beautiful. We went to Great Basin on our days off and just took chairs and sit by the babbling brook, or took a hike up in the mountains where they had this boardwalk where you could just walk around there, and it was gorgeous, gorgeous snow-covered mountains. And then you come down, and then you could go looking for these gems that were in these rocks. And then they had a ghost town nearby. You can go check that out. You could drive to St. George. You had Cathedral Gorge and Panaca not too far. You had Bryce. And then you had in Bryce you had, what was the name of that county? Well, no, it was the state park, like National Forest. You drove through this. I can't think of the National Forest. It is right around Bryce. But that was the coolest thing ever. And we stayed at Kodachrome, and that was cool. And then we stayed in Bryce National Park and saw all the hoodoos. And then we went to Zion National Park, and that was, oh my goodness, it was beautiful. Um, Everything's so majestic and so different than what you're so accustomed to if you grew up on the East Coast, right? Just different. Just the sunset is different. We were in Oregon, and they have this rock that has this pipe that has like this spring water that tastes like the purest form of water you ever wanted to drink, and everybody lined up with their jugs to fill up their like house jugs to fill up. And this water was so cold and so delicious, and you can't buy it. It's like I've never tasted that from the store. And then just seeing the orcas swim by off the coast in Newport, Oregon. I've seen some amazing stuff, and I've just enjoyed the journey so much. And a lot of it was, I didn't get a chance to like say I want to be here for a couple months. It was more like, okay, we were working, so when we have a day off, let's try to cram a whole lot into it and just try to enjoy it while we're here. And then a lot of our travels were along our way to work or back from work. We just never got a chance to like just stay and just be there and enjoy being there. And that's really what I wanted to do, but I was grateful for the opportunity to be, working and traveling at the same time. And sometimes I think that'll never happen again. Like I'd love to spend Christmas in Leavenworth, Washington. The little German town that looks like a Christmas town. I'd love to once to just be to go and visit it for Christmas. Not stay. You don't have to stay. Just be able to say, yes, I went and it was gorgeous and it was fun. Like it was like Frankenmuth. It's like a town like that. But you just have big dreams and you just want to have those experiences. And I look at the pictures and I look at the places that I've been, and I just wonder if I'll ever go back. Like if I'll ever make it back there to be able to have those experiences again. And I'm hoping one day I will. But I don't know. So, oh my goodness. Uh, you know, Vacation is a great escape. I second that motion, Angie. Definitely. Great Basin National Park. Have you ever been there, Shirley? Well, they were so far out. Like they weren't close to the shore. They were like out there, out there. But you could see them like coming up, going down, coming up, going down. And it was the cool. They were like passing by, like leaving from Alaska, headed down to California, because they do that. They migrate down. They come up and they migrate down. They have a little like a little information visitor center where you can see them passing by. You know how they have those little things, and you can like it sends you out where you can see out into the water and see the them a little closer. Like those little binocular things. And they have all these walls of different stuff on there, and they tell you about the different sea life that passes through there. And they say the orcas usually migrate um, from the Alaskan water down to California at a certain time of year, and we just happened to see one swimming by with a baby, and it was just an amazing experience. It was like really cool. And there was a guy up there and he was like, there's one right there, and we saw it, and it went down and stayed down for a while and it came back up, and I was like, that is so, it's not something you see every day, right? So it was really a cool experience. All right, Shirley. Yeah, Great Basin was awesome. I would love to camp there. Now they have some campsites, and I don't know where that creek is running from, but it runs right through the lower campground, because they have two. They have one on top of the mountain, like that's in 10,000 feet elevation up, and then they have one at the foot of the mountain. And so we rode through both of them, and so it was super cool either way. But if something was to happen, I wouldn't want to get stuck on the top half of that mountain, especially in winter. It's not open, but at the bottom, it is really nice. And I have my national park book, and I would love to get some more stamps in that thing. I bought it when we were in Verde Mesa Verde, somewhere in Colorado. And we had already been to all the parks and everything. So I didn't get a chance to get all the stamps from all the parks we had been. We had been to White Sands. We had been to Joshua Tree. We've been to Death Valley. We went to Bryce. We went to Zion. We went to Great Basin. We went to where was that? Badlands, all those national parks. And I didn't get a chance to get it because by the time I got it, we were on our way back and we were passing through Colorado. So I have it, and I would love to start getting stamps again. Hey, it's Butler's Unboxed. How are you? It is. It is. And with the kids, I think that they would love that because they have a junior ranger book. And so it's a great history lesson for homeschoolers, right? Around anywhere you can look and see what's there. They have history where you can go to like battlefields, and they got the placards to kind of tell you what battle took place there. They have all kinds of places you can go visit that would be awesome, like little day trip field trips where you take them to certain places. They'll get their stamp, and then they will thoroughly educate them on what took place there, what happened there, all that other stuff. um they would absolutely love it. They would absolutely, and the stamps are free. So as soon as you go into the gift shop, you're like, I want to get a stamp for my book, and they're like, it's right over there. And so you can go over there, and each one of them can stamp it, and then the book will tell them a little bit about what's happening there, where they are, what took place, whether it's a battlefield, whether it's, how it's national, whatever. And it would be the coolest thing for them. I promise they would love it. They would absolutely love it. It is a great history lesson. And so, yep. Really, we camped there during the full moon. It was, oh man, never got dark, eh? But yep. So there's I guess the US is such a beautiful place. A lot of people pack up and leave here and go places, which I'm sure is equally as beautiful, and for the sake of never being somewhere different before. But right here in our amazing country, on some of these roads, you can discover some really cool, exotic, tucked away places that are just absolutely breathtaking. And I felt like that when I went to Wyoming for the first time. So there's a couple places that I've been that I would just love to go see again and spend time, just like quality time in the area. And Wyoming and Oregon would be one of them, and Utah. I like Utah. Utah is very RV friendly. But I know I've been rambling on for quite some time, so I appreciate all the thumbs up from Destiny and Shirley and from Miss Margaret and everybody else, Angie, who came in and showed your love and support. And so I won't hold you up much longer. But I am going to do that video after my appointment tomorrow. I'm going to do it. And like I said, the video that I'm going to put out, I'm going to record it, and then I'm going to post it. And it's going to be a member, you have to be a subscriber to be able to watch it. So it'll be a subscriber only video. And so if you'd like to kind of hear a little bit more of the journey I have ahead of me, you'll be able to see that then. But it'll only be for people who subscribe to the channel. So it won't be visible. It won't be for the general public. Yes, if you can do Utah again. You would love it, and you could boondock there and be fully equipped and save some money. All right, you guys. Well, I love you all to the moon and back, and I really appreciate you just putting up with me and my ramblings and my dreams. It's nice to come on here and be amongst friends, um, and just kind of talk. And I love y'all. Oh, I love you too, Miss Butler. I love y'all, and I really appreciate our time together. I do not take it for granted. And as things unfold, as far as our journey is concerned, I will let you know. You know, I always will. But right now, I just don't know. I just don't know. I don't know. But if you're so moved, you know where my information is. You can always contact me, or, whatever. But thank you so much for watching. Be looking out for the video that I'm going to post. And like I said, it won't be available to everybody, but um, I want to share it with those that are close to me and that I feel like, you know. All right, you guys, have a good night, and I will see you soon. Bye for now.